Good day, everyone. So we will be having this session, Module 2, Learning Plans in the Context of the 21st Century. Now let's try to look at the overview of this module. This module aims to allow the pre-service or would-be teachers to revisit the curriculum of their field of specialization. So for your case, we will revisit the curriculum of Filipino through the curriculum guide provided by the Department of Education or DepEd. This will allow them or you to be familiar with the content and performance standards required for every grading period and every grade level. This will allow also the students to review existing samples of learning plans in their field of specialization from reliable resources. The review will focus on how ICT was integrated in the learning plan to allow the learners to acquire the identified learning outcomes or learning objectives. Okay, so for this module, our learning outcomes would be at the end of the module, the students should be able to discuss the role of technology for teaching and learning in the light of the K-12 Curriculum Framework, reviewed the K-12 curriculum guide focusing on the development of 21st century skills. Yes, because we have to focus on the development of the 21st century skills as to how we implement also and how to harness the 21st century skills inside the classroom to be transported to our learners. Number three, reviewed learning plans from various sources that integrated ICTs in the teaching learning process because although I will not introduce first in our lesson 1 learning plans, I will introduce it mainly sa lesson 2 natin. Okay, so we will scrutinize some learning plans there and how ICT integration done on that particular sample of learning plan. Number four, plan activities integrating ICTs that would facilitate the development of 21st century skills required in the curriculum guide. If you are to notice, 21st century skills na term ay parating ginagamit sa mga sentence na to. Therefore, we really have to go back and recall our concept on the 21st century skills and what are those things. And the last learning outcome for this module brainstormed about digital citizenship and relate this to the development of 21st century skills among learners. So these are the expectations or the learning outcomes for the whole module. Okay. The K-12 Curriculum Framework, and the second lesson would be the ICT pedagogy integration in language learning plans. Okay, so for now, we will be focusing first on the introductory part of this module and of course covering the first lesson for this module. The basic education curriculum of the country was enhanced with the implementation of the K-12 curriculum. The K-12 program covers kindergarten and 12 years. Now, as for this curriculum, kindergarten is not an option anymore. It is part of the of what we call the K-12 curriculum. Okay, so it covers kindergarten and 12 years of basic education. Bakit 12 years? It is because we have 6 years of elementary education and then 4 years of junior high school, and we have 2 years of senior high school to provide sufficient time for mastery of concept and skills, develop lifelong learners because that is one of the salient feature or the main purpose why K-12 curriculum was constructed, no? Because we wanted to develop lifelong learners and prepare graduates for tertiary education. Although tertiary education here is an option because by the time they will graduate sa senior high, they are of the legal age, and some of which, especially for those students who will focusing, especially sa pag senior high nila, if they will be focusing on the TechVoc, they can have they can actually take the exam or they can actually have the what do you call the national certification. By that, pwede na sila maghanap ng trabaho. That is why tertiary education it's at some point optional, no? But if you wanted to level up when it comes to professionality, you can enroll to tertiary education. Middle level skills development, this is ito yung mga vocational courses natin. Employment, ito yung sinasabi ko, and of course, entrepreneurship. The implementation of the K-12 curriculum is expected to contribute to the country's development in various forms. Kasi nga, we are not just um, developing lifelong learners, but we are actually developing students that could thrive in different avenue, no? And if they thrive in different avenue, therefore, they could contribute to the development of our country. So it is believed to be necessary and improve the quality of our education, which is critical to our progress as a nation. Remember that um, our youth, they actually term as the woke, no? And then of course they are the builders of our nation. So they really have the impact in the development of our country. Okay, one of the features of the K-12 curriculum is the requirement to equip every graduate with the following skills. So I did mention about the 21st century skills now. So the first one, actually this is according to Partnership for 21st Century Skills Organization, that the following 21st century skills now are relevant to the students' professional growth to be effective professional citizens and of course leader of the future. So the first one we have is information, media, and technology skills. So ano yung nandito? Of course, yung mga inclusions ng information, media, and technology skills are media literacy, information literacy, information and communications technology literacy. The second one would be, okay, we have learning and innovation skills. So ang nandito, we have communication and collaboration, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, and of course, innovation. For effective communication skills, yeah, you have different skills of communicating, no? That is mainly on communication. And then the last one we have is the life and career skills. So nandito yung leadership and responsibility, productivity and accountability, social and cross-cultural skills, initiative and self-direction. We also have here flexibility and adaptability. So those are for the life and career skills. Now, the main four here, according to partnership for 21st Century Skills Organization, these are the necessary skills for us to hone effective professionals, citizens, and of course, leaders of the future. So the development of these skills can be done with the aid of technologies for teaching and learning. So this is now the role of technology. No, we really have to integrate technology here for us to harness these things. No, especially the information, media, and technology skills. But anyway, integrating technology is not only limited to information, media, and technology skills. You can also integrate technology to life and career skills, and of course, to learning and innovation skills, so as with the effective communication skills. This course aims to present activities that will prepare pre-service teachers to integrate ICTs in the teaching learning processes in the various fields of specialization. So as for your case, we will be focusing with your specialization, which is the Filipino language. Next, it aims to help pre-service and in-service teachers to expand the boundaries of their creativity and that of their students beyond the four walls of the classrooms, because we all know that learning is not limited to the four walls of our classroom. Right after our students go out to our classroom, meron pa ding learning ang mayayari. That is why for you teachers, you will be introduced to a lot of collaborative tools and a lot of things for you to still um, talk, no, assess, give feedback to your students even outside the four walls of our classroom. It aims to enable teachers to discover the power of computer technologies as teaching tools for greater learning. Mind you, everyone, that using technology is not actually a replacement for teachers, because I think you already know that alam natin that no one can replace our teachers, no? No one can replace us. Even technology cannot actually replace us. So what we're gonna do here, we are just using technology to be part of the teaching learning process, but not to replace teachers. Okay. So now let us focus on lesson one, no? Because we will be talking about the K-12 Curriculum Framework, and so us with the Filipino language, no, the curriculum guide of Filipino. So let's try to look at it. So this is lesson one, the K to 12 curriculum framework. So here are the lesson outcomes. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to discuss the salient features of the K to 12 curriculum requiring ICT pedagogy integration skills. The other one, salient features, ito yung mababasa ninyo. I think, di ba, pinagawa ko kayo ng activity, no, talking about the Filipino, the Keto 12 Curriculum Guide of Filipino, okay? Meron daw mga salient features, especially in the first part of of your curriculum guide. Nandun yung mga features ng Filipino language na Keto 12 Curriculum Guide. And then, of course, analyze competencies of every year level according to the field of specialization of the pre-service teachers. And the third one, we have to review some units in the curriculum guide with focus on the development of the 21st century skills. Well, that is why I told you, no, way back that you really have to understand the content. You have to familiarize the content of your curriculum guide. It is because we will be looking into the parts or units on your curriculum guide to focus us on how to develop the 21st century skills of that particular unit, no? Kung kaya natin. Okay, so for us to the K to 12 curriculum framework, so the implementation of the K to 12 curriculum of the Department of Education paved the way for the enhancement of the teacher education curriculum of the Commission on Higher Education. So why perhaps I think of course it has ripple effect, no, domino effect that if we are to reconstruct our basic education, so we since we are part of the teacher education, we also have to reconstruct our curriculum in such a way that it could pattern because we will be in the field of teacher education, we are actually going to produce teachers in the future na magtuturo sa basic education. So since these teachers are will be teaching the in the basic education, sorry, since the basic education also is restructuring their curriculum, therefore, there is, or it is quite imperative that the teacher education curriculum of the Commission on Higher Education should also change or restructure the curriculum that could fit the appropriateness of the K-12 curriculum. So the salient features of the K-12 curriculum have been thoroughly considered to ensure that all the courses in the teacher education program will meet the demands of the 21st century classrooms. Like for example, uh, in the old curriculum, meron pa tayong BS Ed General Science, meron tayong BS Ed Biology, BS Ed Chemistry, and BS Ed Physics, no? But as for the proposal of CHED, no, according to CHED, yung pinakita lang nila na PSG ay BS Ed Sciences. Kasi nga daw, the main or the I think the rationale for that is that since the teachers are to teach all fields of sciences, the four fields, like for example, the earth and space, chemistry, physics, and biology in 1 year, no? Sa iba't ibang grading period. So hindi na yung naka-major yung courses na parang ginawa ng CHED, no? They actually propose BS Ed Sciences covering all the different fields of sciences yung apat. So one of the considerations is the need to implement the following the salient features of the curriculum through integrating technologies for teaching and learning. Kaya nga, sa bagong curriculum ngayon, no, sa inyong curriculum, like for example, sa BSED Filipino, meron tayong TTL, no, the old curriculum of TTL actually is, ano yan, educational technology. Meron yung educational technology 1 and 2. But for our case, we also have here educational technology 1, but it is in the name of TTL, no? So nagiging ano na siya, ang technology for teaching and learning 1. And then meron din tayong TTL2 which is probably equivalent to Educational Technology 2. Ito na yung specific na nakabay major na. Like for example, itong Fed 110 ninyo. So this is considered actually TTL2 with specifications na sa Filipino or sa language education. Meron din kami sa sciences, no? Meron din kaming TTL2. Ito yung technology for teaching and learning for science education. Meron ding sa math, meron ding sa elementary, meron ding sa social studies, no? So they have naka ano na siya, naka-specify na siya to ano yung field of specialization. Okay. So the use of technologies is done in the different levels of learning, and that is true, no? And in teaching the various fields of specialization. Now, let's try to look at the different salient features. I think we have six. Yeah, we have six salient features of the K-12 curriculum framework. So let's try to look at them. The first one is strengthening early childhood education or the universal kindergarten. As we all know, that the unique part, hindi naman talaga unique, but the nice part of the K-12 program is that they included kindergarten na, no? Unlike before, during my time, optional yung sa amin na magka K1 at saka K2 yung sa amin meron pang kindergarten 1 at saka kindergarten 2. So that is optional for us, meaning to say we can still enroll grade 1 without undergoing kindergarten. But for our case here, you are not allowed to enroll grade 1 unless makapag-kindergarten ka because that is now part of the curriculum framework. Okay. So with the Universal Kindergarten Program of the Department of Education or DepEd, every Filipino child is expected to have access to early childhood education. Kasi nga, we really needed to focus on giving proper education to our children or to our kids. No, hindi pwedeng pag grade 7 at the age of 7, or sorry, grade 1 at the age of 7, that's the time only that they can learn how to read and write. That's actually the problem. So this is nice because kindergarten now is an essential in the curriculum framework in our basic education. So this access can be facilitated using technological tools that are readily available to the school for teachers' use. So the use of technology in kindergarten by various schools is very evident in teaching the kindergarten pupils the alphabet. Of course, we have the numbers, the basic siguro mga 1 to 10 lang yan or 1 to 100. Numbers, we also have here shapes and colors through games, songs, and dances in their mother tongue. No? Please take note that sa kindergarten natin, ang focus nila is play. No? But although they're doing play, they're also learning the alphabet, the numbers, shapes, and colors. And please take note that they will be doing it in their mother tongue. Now, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng mother tongue? I think we also have here one of the salient features of our K-12 curriculum framework. So we'll be discussing it later, no? But when we say mother tongue, kung ano yung inyong ginagamit na dialect sa bahay or language sa bahay. So that is our mother tongue. So if you are in, like for example, in Marawi City, and then the dialect here or the language that na ginagamit no sa bahay is Ranao, therefore you will be using Ranao in your class, no? Next one we have is the number two salient. We have making the curriculum relevant to learners. This is more on contextualization and enhancement. This is very nice, no? Because um, our topics or our subjects, no, in the earlier parts, during siguro sa aming time, no, because hindi K-12 curriculum yung curriculum namin, no, um, the discussions or the topics are very abstract. Why abstract? It is because we can actually relate kung ano yung relevance ng topic to real life. So that is why we cannot actually imagine the essentiality of learning those things. But for K-12 curriculum framework, no, as the content of the K-12, ginamitan nila ito ng contextualization and enhancement. So research shows that learners will value a curriculum that is relevant to their lives, and that is true. No, of course, you will get interested kung feeling ninyo na magagamit siya in real life. Tama? That is why when we are to discuss in whatever kung ano man yung lesson na gidiscuss niyo sa classroom, inside the classroom, if you are going to give examples or instances, please make sure to give examples that are not abstract. So ano yung mga examples na hindi abstract? Those are concrete examples na nangyayari in real life, no? The reason why we cannot appreciate physics because physics is more on calculations. But if we're going to look at examples of your physics, actually nangyayari siya in everyday life, no? So, meaning kailangan lang ni teacher hugutin, no? Kunin yung mga or ibigay yung mga examples na nakikita natin and then we experience it sa mga daily living nato. And that's the time that we will appreciate the concept of physics. Okay? The other one is students are often heard saying, do I need to know this to live a meaningful life? Do I need to know um, tayutay to live a meaningful life? Do I need to know, ano ba, pag mga morphopenumikong rots carrots no, to live a meaningful life? Do I have to know grammar structure to live a meaningful life? Or how will I use this lesson in the actual workplace? Can I use tayutay when I will be teaching? Or if magko-call center ako, sir, can I use tayutay in my workplace? No? Can I use that? No? How about what is the relevance of this to me? No? Ano yung importansya ng pag-solve ng mga problem solving sa physics, no? What is the relevance of talking about grammars and structures, no? What is the relevance of that things to you and so on. So yun yung parati nating naririnig because um, parang yung mga teachers natin, no, they cannot actually say that these things are essential because yun nga, yung dating educational system natin or educational uh, format is very abstract. No, we are just focusing more on technicalities. We are just focusing on concepts, on facts, no? And then hindi natin binibigyan kung ano yung importansya ng lesson to real life. And that is one of the highlight feature of the K-12 curriculum, no? So the answer to the question of relevance is vital, not to help the teachers think of some ways by which they will be able to let their students realize that their daily lessons are of good use to their personal well-being and to their professional preparation. So yun nga, no, the question on relevance, this is also important to the teachers because by the time students would ask, sir, ano po yung importansya ng lesson na ito sa amin? That's the time that the teacher should really think no kung ano yung isasagot niya, and that's the time you as a teacher, by the time you will be discussing something, maghanap ka talaga ng relevance of that or application of that topic to real life, no, so that they could understand, and of course they will get interested right after, no. So we have here in the person of Sarah, Ma'am Sarah Bernard, 2010, stressed that students now need to have a personal connection to a lesson material that can be done through engaging them emotionally or through connecting the information with that which they already know. Like for example, we are talking about population, no? What is the relevance of talking about population in social studies, no? Um, is that to give us the idea na tama talaga yung nasa mga holy scriptures na go to the world and multiply. Now, what is really the relevance of talking about population? So, meron siya mga ganung impact. Like, for example, if you are to ask the particular student na ilan kayo sa pamilya, and then how was it? No, for example, no? Um, ilan kaya kayo sa isang barangay? And how was it? Somewhat like that. So that's actually the triggering factor na they could realize na talking about population pala is not just population, it's not just numbers. No, it meron siyang meaning behind those numbers. So that is why we really have to find ways to connect our lesson to our students. So according to Ma'am Sara, we really have to find connections. We have to connect the lesson to our students emotionally. No? Okay. Next, And then, ang tawag ni Ma'am Sara nito, tinawagan niya, meron siyang label na this is give it context and make it count. Yeah, okay. So we have to contextualize things, no, so that they can make it count. Meaning to say, so that makita nila kung ano yung relevance ng sinasabi mo. So give it context and make it count. Okay. Now we also have here in the person of Briggs 2014 shared some few tips for making learning engaging and personally relevant as cited by Willis, Faith, and Imordino Young. So meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4. Meron tayong apat, no? So the first one is use suspense and keep it fresh. So ito yung mga tips sa how to make discussion, your lesson, engaging and personally relevant. So the first one is use suspense and keep it fresh. No? Hindi lang teacher ang dapat maging fresh, no? Pero wag naman maging suspense yung mukha ng teacher. So use suspense and keep it fresh. Meaning to say, drop hints about a new learning unit before you reveal what it might be. Yung iba, ang gagawin talaga yung iba, meron silang mga palaro, no? Na parang nagko-connect sa bagong lesson, somewhat like that. So, leave gapping pauses in your speech. Okay, may pag-gap. Okay, for next day, we will be doing somewhat like that. Meron siyang pauses, no? Leave gapping pauses in your speech that could give suspense to what you are going to say. Change seating arrangements. Yan, no? Siguro yung mga estudyante, every time na magkaklase, meron talaga mga teachers. By the way, part of the classroom management and techniques, yung mga pag-change ng mga seating arrangements, no? That could give a fresh look sa klase. So, di ba very exciting na, for example, estudyante ka, everyday pagpapasok ka sa klase ni ma'am, nasya-shock ka na lang na yung mga chairs nagbabago yung arrangement. So, meant to say, since nagbabago siya, merong exciting na mangyayari. Okay? So, change seating arrangements and put up new and relevant posters or displays. Siguro pagdating mo sa klase, meron ng pa-posters dyan. Hindi mo alam kung ano mangyayari sa klase na ito. All these can activate emotional signals and keep student interest peak. The next one is make it student directed. So give students a choice of assignments on a topic, or ask them to design one of their own. So this is now the concept of what you call this democracy or democratic classroom. So when students are involved in designing the lesson, they better understand the goal of the lesson and become more emotionally invested in and attached to the learning outcomes. Again, we have to give students a choice of assignments on a particular topic or ask them to design one of their own. No? Kung titingnan natin, our learners here are not just passive participants inside the classroom, but they're now active or proactive learners inside the classroom. So make it student directed. The third one is connect it to their lives and to what they already know. This is very important, no? That is why every time we are to discuss something, kahit very technical siya, we really have to find something that is really connected sa daily living sa ato ang mga estudyante. Taking the time to brainstorm about what students already know and would like to learn about a topic helps them to create goals. So yung iba, yung ginagawa natin siguro magpa-brainstorm si teacher, no? Like for example, ang topic natin ngayon is ano ba? Soil or water absorption of soil. So meron kang topic na water absorption of soil, siguro na groupings ka, and then or may pa-partner or tatlo ano ba, and then you talk about it. You give them instruction. Okay, you talk about the water absorption of soil. Okay. So yung iba magchichika yan. Yung soil namin blah blah blah. And then come to think of it, sa grupo pala ninyo or sa grupo ng particular estudyante, meron palang farmer, no? Alam niya yung konsepto ng soil. So, yun, maraming share. And then, ang sarap sa feeling siguro ng estudyante na yan na mag-share siya because marami siyang alam, no? Because that particular student can reflect no the essentiality of soil na okay yun pala yung essentiality ng soil natin. This also helps teachers see the best points of departure for new ideas. Making cross-curricular connections also helps solidify those neural loops. Ibig sabihin ng cross-curricular, kinokonekta natin lahat. Para siyang tinatawag natin na multidisciplinary. So although you are discussing soil, our topic, our subject is science, you can actually connect it to economics, for example. You can connect it to environmental issues, for example. Okay? So mas multidisciplinary, mas malalaman natin kung ano yung maging kaya ng society natin. And then, of course, maging interesado yan. Next, number 4, provide utility value. Utility value provides relevance first by picking students and by telling them the content is important to their future goals. No, yung sasabihin na, okay, of course, the discussion on the absorption of soil, although this is very minimal, although we are discussing it in a very short period of time, but please take note that in knowing the concept of soil, blah blah blah, you can actually share it to people who are on agriculture, like for example. So provide utility value. It then continues by showing or explaining how the content fits into their plans for the future. This helps students realize that the content is not just interesting but also worth knowing. Okay? So yun nga, dapat hanapan natin ng paraan na ma-realize ng mga estudyante na yung mga ningangakak natin galing sa ating sa ating mga bibig ay not just concepts, no? Not just interesting to listen into, but also worth to know, no? And the last one we have is build relatedness. Relatedness, on the other hand, answers the question, what have this to do with me? Ano ba? Yes, sir. And sir, bakit sir? After nating mag-usap tungkol sa K12 Curriculum Framework, and then ngayon, ano yun sa akin, sir? Ano yung connect sa akin? Ano ba? Somewhat like that. Now, what have these to do with me? So it is an inherent need students to feel close to the significant people in their lives, including teachers. So relatedness is seen by many as having non-academic and academic sides. Sorry. So meant to say, kailangan natin ng connection. So this is now the time that we have to build relatedness or connection between the teacher, the one who are talking, the one who is talking, and then of course sa mga bata na nakikinig. Okay, relatedness. So if I think um we have to build first, I believe that we have to build first relatedness before we can actually grasp more in providing utility value. Okay, so those are the 5 tips, actually some few tips lang according to Briggs, that can make our learning engaging and personally relevant to our students. So we have use suspense and keep it fresh, make it student directed, connect it to their lives and to what they already know, provide utility value, and of course, build relatedness. The number 3 salient feature of the K-12 curriculum framework is, okay. But before that, no, but before that, please take note that yung 5, hindi dyan natatapos, no? So, to be able to apply the tips recommended by various experts, no? So, actually, meron tayong na-mention, no? May dalawa tayong na-mention ng mga experts. Nandito si Ma'am Sara, and of course, we also have here Briggs. Ma'am Sara mentioned about the give it context and make it count, no? And then Briggs here shared some few tips, specifically or mainly 5 tips, no, for to make our learning process more engaging and of course relevant, no, personally relevant to our students. So to be able to apply the tips recommended by various experts and to allow students to realize the value of their curriculum, technological tools can be used. No? So magagamit natin yan. So that 21st century learners are expected created to be demonstrating the 21st century competencies such as collaboration, digital literacy, the critical thinking, the problem solving to be able to thrive in this world. And that is true. No? So kailangan talaga natin, no? Because the world is changing. The world is changing into very technical and very complicated one. So that is why kailangan natin i-prepare yung mga estudyante natin sa tinatawag nating 21st century skills. Okay. So contextualizing the curriculum of the students for meaningful learning, for meaningful learning, possess challenges in enhancing teachers' pedagogical skills as well as technological skills. Kasi nga, um, although we have already the framework, the K12 framework, but then again, it is the job of the teacher now how to contextualize the learning. So although binigay sa K12 curriculum guide ninyo na meron kayong pakikinig, no, merong ano ba literature, writing, reading for example sa English language, no. But then again, ang the challenging part there is how to deliver it, how to contextualize it in such a way that students can understand it better, students can relate it better, students can use it in the future battle. Okay, so that's the challenging part. Kaya nga, sinabi dito, the contextualizing the curriculum of the students for meaningful learning possess challenges in enhancing teachers' pedagogical skills as well as technological skills. Okay. I hope that is clear, no? The third salient feature we have is the building proficiency, mother tongue-based multilingual education. Yan yung ano natin, building proficiency. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin? Bakit naging term na building proficiency when it comes to MTB, MLE? So, MTB, MLE, that is mother tongue-based multilingual education. Okay? Okay. So, to be able to promote the child's dominant language and to use it as a language of instruction, maximum use of technological tools is highly encouraged. Yung ginawa natin, no, because we really wanted our students to be proficient, no, sa mga basic knowledge natin, no, sa mga core contents na tinatawag. That is why we are using the mother tongue based multilingual education. No? And then through the help of technology, this can be emphasized more, no? This particular language of instruction. Currently, a lot of teachers and schools are into developing learning materials to be able to implement the MTB MLE. Again, that is Mother Tongue Based Multilingual Education Program properly, especially that there is a dearth of printed and e-materials in the mother tongue of the students. So mother tongue is used in instruction and learning materials of other learning areas. So mother tongue, for example, siguro sa Iligan City, for example, no, yung by the time yung teacher magdi-discuss siya about ano ba, health, for example, ang ginagamit na ay Bisaya, no? So for example, yung shape siguro unsa or kung math unsay mahitabo, no, kung ang isa dungagan og isa, Bisaya kayo. In here in Marawi City, the language that they are using here is Maranao. Therefore, they will be using Maranao also, no? Next. Children learn better and are more active in class and learn a second language even faster when they are first taught in a language they understand. And this is true. Actually, itong MTBMLE, kung sa pagkakaalam ko, marami ng mga research na ginawa. No? Even sa mga university, marami na din gustong maging uh, format yung Filipino na language natin as the language of instruction sa lahat ng asignatura. Sa lahat ng asignatura or even sa specific parts ng mga subjects natin na gusto nila they really wanted to use Filipino because they observe in other countries like for example Japan they are um they are using their own language, no, to explain everything, no. In Korea, they also explain everything with the use of their language, no, in other countries, no. And then they look at it that if you are using your own language, must so mean to say you will be more proficient, and then uh, development is much faster according to them. Okay, so that is why ang sa third bullet na to, this is true that children learn better and are more active in class and learn a second language even faster when they are first taught in a language they understand. No, this is very struggling for us because as I remember ko nung kindergarten pa ako, yung ginagamit na lingwahe ng teacher ko, kung hindi man siya magbibisaya, ang lingwahe ginagamit niya ay Ingles. Okay? So pick a color white, blah blah blah. No, and then you are ano ba? You are in the age of 5, somewhat like that, and you don't have any exposures on English language, and then yun yung magiging maging ano ba? Kamulatan mo when you will be enrolling to kindergarten by that age. So that this is very nice because remember sa mga ganyang edad, fluent na tayo magsalita kung ano yung dialect natin or yung language natin. So it is very nice na Bisaya ka, and then by the time you will be enrolling to kindergarten and they are also using Bisaya, this is so nice, no? They can understand or they will understand basic knowledge, no, yung mga core knowledge natin in a faster way, no, and of course they can learn even faster sa iba't ibang larangan pa na or even either any other level of subjects pwede, no, mas masabta nila. Okay, the next one, the number four, four salient feature, ensuring integrated and seamless learning. So that is the spiral progression. So yung spiral progression, by the way, is the approach, no, the approach of the K-12 curriculum. Yung iba kasi na mistook nila yung spiral progression as curriculum daw mismo, but the spiral progression is the approach of the K-12 curriculum, no? Ito yung parang design ng K-12 curriculum nasa sa ating subjects, so the way we construct our subjects, no, so that is spiral progression. So learning basic concepts that lead to a more complex and sophisticated version of the general concepts entail TPAC. So ano yung TPAC? So yung TPAC natin, kung ma-remember niyo yan sa TTL1, no, kung ano ba, kung nakapag-cover kayo ng TPAC, bibiyak-biyakin natin yung TPAC, no? Ibig sabihin ng TPAC, technological knowledge. So we have TC. Yan. Again naman, meron tayong PK. We have pedagogical knowledge. We also have here content knowledge. We have CK. So we have TPAC, technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. Or technological knowledge. So kailangan natin yan. Pedagogical knowledge and of course content knowledge. Okay. So yan yung parang gustong makuha ng K-12 Curriculum Framework, no, the spiral progression using TPAC probably. So rediscovering concepts previously presented as students go up in grade level will be fully supported if all the areas of specialization will be aided by technologies for teaching and learning. Alam natin na yung technology by our end, marami talaga siyang nagagawa. And then, yung mga lessons na very boring and very abstract, but because of the support or the integration of technology in the teaching learning process, mas naging klaro and then sabotable, no? Yung mga konsepto na very abstract, no? Okay? Okay. Next would be gearing up for the future. Okay. The K-12 curriculum ensures college readiness by aligning the core and applied courses to the college readiness standards. No, yun talaga, no. Hindi pwede na nag-reconstruct ang atong basic education, but ang ato ang higher education wala sila gibuhat, no. Dili pwede kasi nga dapat mag-align kung ano yung magiging produkto ng basic education dapat it is aligned to the needs, of course, of the higher education or the tertiary level. So the K-12 curriculum ensures college readiness by aligning the core and applied courses to the college readiness standards or the CRS and the new general education curriculum. Okay. Hence, the K-12 curriculum, hence the K-12 curriculum focused on developing appropriate specialization subjects for the academic, sports. We also have arts and design and technical vocational livelihood tracks, no? Kaya nga, sa senior high ngayon, ito na yung parang specialization. But although, I believe that during pa lang sa grade 7 nila, parang they have to think na kung ano yung magiging track nila by the time they will be having their senior high, because some schools, I believe, I don't know if this is true, no, to all, but some schools, they wanted their students to discover kung ano yung gusto nila para naman yung mga magiging ma-regroup sila kung tatawagin, no, kung ang mga yung mga na-grade 7, ang mga estudyante ito, they are into to STEM. So siguro they will be aligned na to STEM na hanggang pa senior high. If ito yung mga grupo ng mga estudyante, gusto nila naman ng Tech Voc or TVL, so magiging ma-realign sila going forward to TVL sa senior high. Okay? So this is the nice thing, because our students in the basic education, they will know kung ano yung mga gusto nila. And then they will be introduced with things na may experience lang during college, no? May experience na nila ngayon even sa senior high. Okay. So all of these specialization subjects have to be supported by educational technology for better learning. So nandito pa rin yung kaagapay pa rin natin yung tinatawag nating technology in delivering appropriate and of course essential um, essential in the teaching learning process. So nandito pa rin yung educational technology. And then the last salient feature we have is the nurturing the holistically developed Filipino. So we have college and livelihood readiness, and of course the 21st century skills. So to nurture a holistically developed Filipino, every K to 12 graduate is expected to be ready to go in different paths, no? Kasi nga, during pa lang sa ilahang junior and senior high, parang na-mold na natin sila kung saan sila patungo, no? Um, if you already know na TVL sila, it is expected na doon din yung path na they are going to look forward, no? If the student has the potential to become scientist, like for example, an engineer, doon din yung ilo-look forward niya. And then every graduate is expected to be equipped with information, media, and technology skills, learning and innovation skills, effective communication skills, and life and career skills. So itong apat na to na uh, part of the 21st century skills, ito yung expected na ma-equip ng mga estudyante natin by the time they will graduate, no? Sa K-12 curriculum pa lang, no? For teachers to maintain excellent performance, they need full support, one of which is technological support. Now, for itong mga skills na to, no, because we will be giving our students, because we wanted them to be equipped with these different skills. But first, before we can give those before we can equip our students, no, with those skills, kailangan muna natin i-equip yung mga teachers natin of those skills, no? How can you give something na kung wala ka, di ba? So in giving, no, the point of every graduate is expected to be equipped with information with all those different skills. That will happen, no, if the teachers, no, if there is a proper implementation of the curriculum and with the facilitation by excellent teachers. So for teachers to be excellent when it comes to performance, they really need full support, and one of which is technological support. Yes, no, because um I do believe that kahit gaano man ka-excellent yung performance ng teacher natin, no? Like for example, nag-top 1 siguro siya sa LET, no? Sa licensure examination for teachers. Summa cum laude siguro si teacher. But then again, if there would be no support coming from the higher up, yung potential ng teacher would be a waste na dayon. Okay, so we really need full support because that's the thing that could fuel the potential of our teachers. Okay. The next thing we have is trying to look at the relationship of teachers and curriculum, because really teachers play a very important role in the facilitation of the teaching of the student learning by designing, implementing, and evaluating the curriculum. Please take note that the curriculum is given, but then again, as to how to deliver it, meaning to say we have to redesign it, as to how we implement it and of course evaluate it, nakadepende na yan sa teacher. No? So in Philippines, teachers are expected to actively engage themselves in curriculum design to ensure that the K-12 curriculum will be best delivered to fully realize its intended learning outcomes. And then teachers make decisions about how they will implement the curriculum of their specific field of specialization. Kasi nga, meron tayong tinatawag na contextualization and enhancement. Yung nakasaad or stipulated things sa K-12 curriculum framework natin, they are at some point they are in the minimum requirement. As to how to implement it, it's up to the teachers because we have the term contextualization and enhancement. Okay, so they decide on how they must structure the activities of their lessons and manage students' responses and ideas. Hence, the decision of teachers is very important, especially the teachers are the implementers of the curriculum, no? It has an impact on the students' learning, therefore. So the following are points to consider in identifying and understanding teachers' roles as curriculum designers. Okay. The first one is, of course, undoubtedly, the most important person in the curriculum implementation process is the teacher. No? So, with their knowledge, experiences, and competencies, teachers are central to any curriculum development effort. And according to also by 2016, better teachers daw support better learning because they are most knowledgeable about the practice of teaching and are responsible for introducing the curriculum in the classroom. Sino man yung may knowledge about the teaching learning process, it's the teacher. So meaning to say, if the teacher is the most knowledgeable person inside the classroom, therefore, si teacher din ang pinaka-importanting person in the classroom implementation or in the curriculum implementation. The next one is curriculum is the planned interaction of pupils. No? Kung titingnan natin yung curriculum natin, lahat ng bagay na ginagawa ng teacher ay curriculum. No? The term curriculum is not limited to K-12 curriculum. It is not limited to BS Ed Filipino curriculum, no? It is not actually limited to syllabus. It is not limited to your prospectus kung ano yung mga subjects na kukunin niyo for the whole duration of your course, no? So, yung teacher, by the time yung teacher nagpapa-evaluate siya, like for example, nag-test, that is still part of curriculum. No, the materials that the teacher are using, that the teacher is using, that is still part of the curriculum. No, the resources, no, kung paano niya i-deliver din yung lesson, that is still part of curriculum. Okay, so curriculum is the planned interaction of pupils with instructional content, materials, resources, and processes for evaluating the attainment of educational objectives. This is according to Jana Van Patankar, 2013. The next one is curriculum is content, but when contextualized, it comes alive for students. Kasi nga, yung the content of your curriculum, like for example, um, the curriculum guide of Filipino, words lang yan, parang patay, no? By the time we will contextualize it, meaning to say, giving life to the words inside it, that's the time that it is alive, no? It is alive sa konsepto ng mga estudyante, no? Because that's the time that they will appreciate the words inside. Okay. So the role of teachers in the curriculum process is to help students develop an engaged relationship with the content. No, that's our main goal. That meron talagang heart to heart yung content na gidiscuss ni teacher about tayutay, no? Anong magiging connection ng tayutay sa kinabuhi sa estudyante, no? And then resulting active learning increases the focus and retention of the curriculum, um, resulting in an exciting learning environment. So actually, itong mga active learning, this is so nice kung nakapag face-to-face tayo. No? We can actually do more. We can still do more sa virtual like this, online classes, but then again, we have problems, no? You didn't have proper gadgets, no? Wala tayong nice na interconnection. That is why limited talaga yung interaction natin. When it comes to active learning, I do not know if we can really perfect it, no? So teachers build lessons that include simulations, experiments, case studies, and activities to deliver a curriculum. This interactive approach intertwines curriculum and practical experiences that immerse students in learning. That makes learning so fun. No? The active participation of students, actually hindi lang ang picture kasi natin sa bagong ang picture natin sa bagong classroom ay hindi dapat yung estudyante nakikinig lang for an hour. Dapat for an hour na meron kayong klase ni teacher, like for example if your subject is science for example, dapat lahat na may estudyante ay may ginagawa, no? That is part of the active learning concept. And according to Mayor 2018, the curriculum process now provides an opportunity for teachers to be creative and put their unique stamp on the classroom experience. Okay. Kasi nga, the nice thing of our new curriculum kasi, no, very flexible siya in such a manner that you can contextualize it with your own. So you can be creative. You can do your own part. That is why nilagay to put their unique stamp on the classroom experience. Bakit unique stamp? Kasi nga gi-contextualize ni teacher base sa kung anong meron. Since gi-contextualize na ni teacher children, that is authentic and original, na very unique. Okay. The last one we have is teachers on their part have practical knowledge based on their daily work with students. This knowledge is useful to curriculum committees because teachers can assess whether the ideas being developed will work in the classroom. Kasi nga, that is why really, by the time we are to create our curriculum, teachers, no, yung mga teachers talaga, yung mga teachers na nasa sa classroom, they should be part in the curriculum design, no? It is because sino ba yung merong alam sa sa loob ng klase? Yung mga teachers natin, no? Be it or not, no, but the admin people, they really don't know as much as the teacher na nasa classroom kung ano yung problema, kung ano yung needs inside the classroom. Okay? That is why this is very useful to curriculum committees because teachers can assess whether the ideas being developed will work in the classroom or not. So this is according to Young 1988. Okay. So I think that's all for lesson 1. So that is the end of module 2, lesson 1. So I will be posting the activity for lesson 1. And right after this one, please expect that you will also receive the recorded video for lesson 2, which is ICT pedagogy integration in language learning plans. Thank you so much, everyone, and keep safe.